Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Sketchy Ideas, the live point-counterpoint video podcast where we illustrate and debate concepts surrounding business, leadership, personal development, sometimes movies, sometimes TV shows, sometimes history, all that fun stuff, and they're all sketchy. But our goal is to make you think twice before you implement that new idea you just saw on the interwebs. Hi, I am Brad James.
And I am Michael Rampola.
And today, we're actually going to show you some tools, since we got a bunch of questions last week about how to actually work some of these details based on last week's calendar, illustration, all that good stuff. But before we do that, a word from our sponsors. Michael.
That's me. Sketchy Ideas is powered by SPEARity. SPEARity helps business owners overcome the obstacles to reach a greater success. And we offer the one application-based system that enables you and every member of your team to optimize your performance. It's easy to be busy. It's not as easy to be productive, especially as you try to grow and scale your business. SPEARity will help you transform what you're doing into that optimized performance for a greater success. Reach out to us at SPEARity.com. And
you think you might have to implement that stuff all by yourself. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You don't even have to do it if you're the most organized person on the planet. In fact, sometimes you probably just don't have time. So when that happens and you don't have time to do social media, marketing, design, anything that's outreach, lead generation, all that good stuff, you can come work, my friends. Come work with us over at Cream City Marketing, where we'll help you figure out how to get in front of the right customers at the right time, all that good stuff, where we craft quality content that expands your message and gets you in front of those ideal customers to help you reach your business goals. Cream City Marketing will handle the stress so you can do the rest, or even go take a rest. For some of us, we need that. Do me a favor, reach out to my friend Aaron over there at aaron@creamcitymarketing.com. And with that, let's dive in, Michael. So context. The last few weeks, we've been talking about planning. We've been talking about mindset, like the mindset mantras of 4-hour work week, 10X, 80-20, radical brilliance, all that stuff that lives up here and everybody likes to use and say to make themselves sound fancy.
It's true. Exactly.
When in fact, most people use it and say it, but don't actually do it. And so we've been trying to help you figure out ways that you can implement whatever mantra you're following, okay? We've been focused on the 80-20 rule thus far. We started out with describing what that means and helping you build it into reality, and then talking through how to actually make it work, to then tying it into your planning for the third quarter, which is coming up, guess what? Soon, within 8 days, right? June's only got 30 days. So 7 days, a week from now is your last day of June. For those of you losing track of time, guess what? Time machine, working on it. But anyway, today, Michael's actually going to be able to take what I went through last week in some form or fashion and give you a prime example of an app and a tool that SPEARity uses with all of their clients, help them figure out exactly the important priorities they need to be working on every quarter based on the quarterly planning Apex event that I told you need to sign up for when it happens again in September. It's a really good program. It helped me a bunch, especially because 2021's been a whirlwind, and I've been trying to figure out how to prioritize things. So having coaches like Michael is extremely helpful in hitting those goals that you're setting, because not only does he give you coaching, he's going to introduce you to people who can help through his network. And he's also going to give you tools to track it and measure it, which I'm a data nerd. I need it. And he's actually going, no. You didn't get it done. Did you check it off the box? If you didn't check it off the box, it's not done. So I can actually go back and reflect the next time I do planning to generate plans and schedule those plans in order to hit the next quarter's goals. So with that, Michael, did I get that mostly about right?
I think that was actually fantastic. So I'm just drawing a little like process map here to kind of reflect what Brad was talking about. And what Brad's talking about is taking what's on paper, and I'm going to say on the way from paper to, that's a trophy, by the way. We should probably make it sparkle. There we go. We'll put a big number 1 on it. There we go. Number 1. There we go. On your way from paper to your path to success, I'm going to say you should take a stop off at an app. Now, I'm not a huge believer that just software solves the problem. As we have talked about previously, there are many times that software is not the answer, especially if you're just choosing software to be the answer and you haven't thought through what are my processes and systems first and what's the best way for me to optimize those things. Brad is nodding emphatically. Yes. So therefore it must be true.
Yes.
Right.
Technology second.
So therefore, I'm not going to tell you that technology comes first. Brad even showed you this thing starts on paper. It starts on paper because there's a lot of good brain science about thinking things through on paper, Post-it notes, what have you. And then once you've got the thinking and the figuring and the forethought done, now when you take it and try to put it into action and into play, that's where a system, a well-designed system that operates on good principles, can actually help you optimize your performance. And that's why I'm excited to take you on a quick demo today and a walkthrough of our tool and system and process and app, kind of all the same thing the way we see it, that will help you optimize your performance by design. And I know that that's saying a lot, but I am saying that.
And if you need to remember, last week we talked about the 4 C's episode. So we'll also drop that here because it will help you understand better how this tool really helps you to put your plans and what you're doing from a goal standpoint to be able to track it so that you can say, hey, success, not successful, or pivot at some point during that time period that you built those plans for in order to actually make things happen.
Correct. That. So let's talk about the 4 C's. Quick reminder: customer acquisition, cash flow, customer retention, company growth. Turning those into your categories for your number 1, 2, 3, 4 goals. Your number 1 goal being your spearhead. That customer acquisition, that is your spearhead. What does that mean for us here at SPEARity? What that means, put my TM on there. The spearhead is defined this way. If I get this goal accomplished, nothing else really matters. And if I don't get this goal accomplished, nothing else really matters. If your number 1 goal and your number 1 priority for a given time period, we're going to say quarter here, meets those 2 criteria, you have found your spearhead. And that is a good way to stay focused, because we can't do all the things. It's doing the most important things is how leaders win, right? So let's talk about how to figure out what that is. And then once I know what it is, to make it really happen. So Brian, if you want to kick it over to thank you, Brian has surfaced for us. Episode 15 for the 4 C's, navigating the 4 C's, one of our favorites. Brian, if you want to throw it over so that we can do the screen share, unless you've done that already and people have been already looking at this and don't even know it, now is a good time. Let's talk about what we're looking at. All right, so I'm just going to believe from now on, because I can't always see the broadcast. I'm going to believe that we're looking at the screen share from now on, unless we say otherwise. So it's up. Thank you, sir. This is the dashboard. Welcome to the SPEARity app. This is the dashboard view. What that means for us is this is an overview of what I'm supposed to be focused on, or what I know I have already identified are my focuses for a given time period. We'll operate on those 3 scales I think we've talked about in here before: the 90, the 7, and the 1. 90 days for the quarter, 7 days for the week, 1 day for the day. Quarters, quarterly goals and plans, weekly milestones, daily action items, daily tasks. We use our SPEAR acronym: SMART goals, P plan, E execute, A analyze, and R realign. That's the process. And that process in this app becomes really powerful and, dare I even say, guided. So that if you're not sure what to do next, the app is really designed to help you focus on what am I supposed to do next. Let me show you what I mean by that. So this is my dashboard view. What it shows me at a glance is, what have I identified as my goals for the quarter? What are my milestones for this week? And what are my activities and tasks for today? I get to see all 3 of those at once. And there's this very subtle, I think it's a little bit subtle, idea in here which shows how everything links up. Now, as a coach who uses this tool as well to coach my clients and members, I can look at somebody's dashboard and at a glance, I know whether or not they're being strategic, whether or not they're being thoughtful and intentional about the way that they are planning their day, their week, and their quarter. And one of the number one ways I know that is whether or not I see these little indicators right here. What this tells me is that this daily task, which at this was having a coaching session at 10 a.m. today, aligns to one of my weekly milestones. And the fact that it says W25 2.4 tells me that that item right there is aligned to 2.4. There it is right there. Tells me that that's a priority for me. That's something I have identified as something important. And if I go there, I see, well, that weekly milestone is associated with a quarterly goal. Quarterly goal number 2. There it is, customer retention. It makes sense that coaching one of my members would be something I'm going to do towards customer retention. And look, that quarterly goal even aligns to an annual priority. That tells me at a glance that I'm productive and not just busy. That tells me at a glance that I'm productive and not just busy. Yes, sir.
Listen, say that one more time. Say that
one more time.
One more time for our lovely, wonderful, beautiful people listening. Just say it one more time.
When I can identify that my daily activities are aligned with my weekly milestones and my quarterly goals, I am productive, not just busy.
Busy does not equal productive.
Not the same thing, because I can have this very full of things that don't have any value because I haven't identified their alignment. So the alignment, or we call it linking in the app, the fact that these things are linked up tells me that they are of value. And everything that points to my number one spearhead for the quarter is of highest value. So anything under customer acquisition, sales, you can see my number one weekly milestone goes to 1.2. That tells me it's under my spearhead. And number 3 is also under my spearhead. Those are high priority items. Customer retention, also a priority. I've got a week full of coaching here. So I've got my priorities for the week, my weekly milestones lined up to my quarterly goals, also prioritized. Also prioritized, which means I have taken the time in planning to figure out my highest value activities. See also 80-20 rule. It's back. I feel like we need a...
Or remember when we were talking about delegation way back when? Remember?
Yes. Yes.
It all ties together. Hey guys, like we're almost a year in. We're putting a bow on this.
Are we allowed to
We're beginning to put a bow on this. Like, understand that for the last year, we just look like two fools jumping around, drawing crazy pictures on a whiteboard. No, this stuff really matters. And this is why running a business, leading a team, growing yourself does not happen overnight. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes learning, and it takes a whole process.
Thank you, Brad. I agree. So now here's something I know. We've done a lot of research ourselves into other tools and apps and software that do similar things. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to look at this. Of course, this is a beautiful, wow, Michael, that looks great. There's no way that you must have taken a long time to build that up. Yes and no. It took me a little bit of time to make my quarterly goals and a little bit of time for the week and a little bit of time for the day. But it's a bunch of little times. They maybe add up to a few hours, but it's the forethought and the planning and the strategy that actually makes this go very quickly when you start to build it out. So does it take time to make things look this complete? Yeah, but we've talked about it. Planning, preparation is the 20 that produces the 80. That is one of your highest value investments in yourself, is planning ahead.
Yes.
There's I think I made the case there. So let's pretend for a second, Brad. Let's demo you. You said you got your sheet?
I thought I did.
That's right. We can still build it. So
I can go through it. Let's go through it. I got it up here.
It's right.
I remember
it's enough. That'll work.
Spearheads.
So let me do my planning effort and show you how we plan in this tool, and then I'll actually do a little bit of how we use the tool to optimize. So let's start with planning. We're going to build a goal. So I'm looking at my quarterly spear. Jump to next quarter 3. Brad, what is your customer acquisition?
Yep.
Specifically sales, right? Okay, so what's your sales target for next quarter?
So I told myself 250,000 specifically by myself.
Okay, so you're gonna personally do that. So personally, let's see, close $250,000 in revenue. How's that
Yes.
sound? Okay.
Sounds like a good number to me.
So here's the cool thing. So SMART. Is it specific? Yes. I know who's doing it. It's got a verb involved. Is it measurable? We've got a number. Is it have a deadline? Absolutely. The deadline right here. We're going to put the due date as being the last date. So you got till September 30th. Is it relevant? Well, yeah, it's relevant to customer acquisition and sales. And is it achievable? Brad, can you personally pull off that number? Have you done it before?
I have not done it before.
Okay.
Personally.
How close have you gotten?
Pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a stretch. It's a little bit of a stretch, but I think when you're doing things like this, you should stretch it.
I totally agree. And the reason I'm going to encourage that is because the way that this tool works and the way that good scientific method works, which is what this is really based on, is I know from the last time I was close what worked well. I'm going to do that again. And I know what I need to do better. I'm going to make those adjustments. Excuse me 1 second. Yeah, bud.
For those of you who don't know, Michael,
I'm done recording.
Michael's kids are at home.
Okay. I love this. Thank you very much. I will come take a look at that after 2 o'clock. Okay. Life. And you'll see when I get to my goals again. Life should be included in your goals. It should absolutely be one of your priorities. Okay, so Brad's going to get this number done because he's learned. So Brad, what's the number one? Thank you. Okay, no, thank you. Sounds good. Love you. Cameo appearance. I love it. All right, so we've got, what's the number one task, plan, thing you're going to do to make that number a reality, Brad?
The first thing I put in my calendar was regular sales activity, if you recall from last week. So
Excellent.
Make sure that I plan at least an hour a day to do regular sales activity. Now, what that means to me, friends, is actually doing outbound or to get sales calls scheduled for me. I've got other people doing sales, but these are specifically for me. So going back to basics and doing the regularity of it.
Perfect. So got a verb in here, schedule regular sales activity, minimum 1 hour per day, targeting 5 hours a week, because this will show up as a weekly milestone. So I'm going to, let's do one more. What's another thing you're going to do? So you can do that on the weekly.
On there, we talked.
Yeah, go ahead.
We talked about the system of building out a specific sales funnel for one of the offers. So I now built in time in my calendar for Q3 to build out one of these sales funnels for the offers that we already offer every month.
Perfect.
So we're going to launch a funnel every month. Yep.
So I'll click submit here. Now what that just did, a bunch of fun stuff happens in the background. Now I've got my goal, customer acquisition, sales, personally closed. There's the big number. I click this little chevron over here and I get to see the subtasks that make that happen. Very cool. Now, let's pretend for a second that this was also one of mine. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to level this one up. We talked about alignment. I'm going to go connect this to my customer acquisition annual goal. And now I'll get to see that that thing is a priority because it's part of my annual priorities as well, which is just a beautiful thing. Now, here's where things get fun. I'm going to go take this subtask here, schedule regular sales activity, and I'm going to go put it in the first week of the next quarter. Put it right here on, oh, it's going to let me go for it. First. What? Come on. Let me try that again. Well, that's interesting. Okay, fine. We'll do it that way. I don't know why you're not letting me do that. All right, submit. There we go. So now if I jump to, not daily, I want my weekly. Jump to my weekly. There it is. So here it is for the first week, schedule regular sales activity. Now, Brad, in order for me to do that, what's the subtask of that? How am I going to make that happen?
One, pick a time.
Got it.
Yep. So pick a time every day that it's going to happen, and then make it consistent and enter it into my calendar and make sure nobody can book over top of it.
Got it.
So there were 3 steps there, right?
There was actually, you're right. Let me add that. Okay, so pick a time every day, make the time consistent. Beautiful. And then book in calendar to prevent, what do you call it? Overrides?
Double booking.
There you go. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. I got those a little bit out of order. That's okay. I'm going to pull this back up and I'll just adjust them. All right, make the time consistent. That should be the number 2 item because I felt better about it. Cool. Now I've got my subtasks. Now we're going to make those things down to the day because if I leave plans at the week, they are never going to happen. See also, there you go. Thank you, Brad. So pick it. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is this is going to need, actually, let me be really slick about this one. If I open up the big one, I open up the subtask, I'm going to grab these 3. So pick a time every day. First thing I'm going to need to do is, let's say I'm going to do that on a Monday. Then I'm also on a Monday, I'm going to make it consistent. Then on Tuesday, I'm going to go back and make sure I don't have anything preventing or getting in the way. So I pick those dates. And what you see is right away, it already indicated that this is now put level down to the daily level. That's lit up bright red. So when I go to my daily, I get to see that there those things are. I'm gonna have to jump back because there we go. There they are. I already know what I'm doing. And what is that a part of? It's part of that other priority. Is it an important activity? Absolutely. And the other things are already waiting for me there on Tuesday. So if you, now the big principle I want you to hear here is everything, plans are theoretical and everything is a plan until you do it. So if you leave things at the weekly level and you don't get it down to the daily level action item that tells you exactly what to do, then things don't get done. Then things just don't get done. So this is number 1. Now, there's a cool thing that we have too where I can actually we talked about calendars. I can actually add this into my calendar. So I can pick my calendar off this list. Let's say I'm going to do that on that Monday. I'm going to do it at 10 a.m. I can actually get in here and put this in, and it's going to drop it into my, hopefully I can get this done in 30 minutes. I mean, this will drop right into my Google Calendar, which is pretty nice, or Outlook, depending on what you're using. So now that thing that started in my Spear, my planning, shows up on my calendar. And guess what, Brad? If it's in my calendar, what's going to happen, do you think?
It's more likely to happen. It's definitely more likely to happen.
Yes, it's certainly more likely to happen. And that is the point. If you know that one of the big barriers to you getting stuff done is that, and I love this one when we're looking at results, I didn't have enough time, or I ran out of time. Last week we said,
my favorite excuse, by the way.
I know it was in my calendar. Okay. So what happened? Well, we talked about this last week. I didn't follow the calendar. Okay. That's a different conversation altogether. So step 1 is, did you plan to do it? Did you get that plan down to the daily level? Then did you schedule time to do it? And then did you follow the plan for the schedule itself?
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Each of those is a very solvable problem, by the way, because planning leads to better planning leads to better execution, i.e. do what you said you were going to do. So that is how we take, that was a really fast run there, but that's how we take the quarter goal and plan to the weekly milestone to the daily level task and action. Now, I told you this is a continuous improvement tool because up to now, this is just a really great way to make plans and manage tasks. It looks like a to-do list. I know, until I point out these other 2 sections that you've been like, what about those other 2 things, Michael? I know you've been wondering. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Let me show you what that means. So let's say Brad did pick a time every day. Good job, Brad. He's going to go in here and he's going to, so remember, planning is preparation and is forethought. Great plan here, right? I got an item, it's linked up, it's got a time to do it, it's aligned to my priorities, it's been put into my calendar. Good start. Now, spear, the action of spearing as a verb, is the result. What happened? It got done, complete, great. We're going to track a success. So pick a time every day. What was the value of choosing a time, a consistent daily time for sales, Brad? Why was that a good thing to do?
Because it builds in discipline, it gets my brain primed to do it every morning. It's a habit. So many reasons why to do it at a regular time every day, especially when it comes to an activity like sales. Because sales is a habit if you're going to do sales.
You got it. So I'm going to click submit. Cool. Not only do I get the credit for checking it off, which anybody can do, but now I have an associated success. And here's the difference between just checking it off, which does add good positive reinforcement. I want to talk about what was the result of that win. Not just did I do it, but what was the value of me doing it? And now I've got the success. And actually, Brad said another thing. He said this also builds the habit, right? Builds foundation for the habit. So I'm going to add that in as well. Foundation for the habit. And oh, yeah, that's right. That was also related to me picking a time every day. So now I've got multiple successes flowing from one activity. Let's say it didn't go as planned. Let's say you ran out of time. Now, that's not going to happen to you here. Let's actually go to the next day and pretend. Let's keep it the same deal easier. So let's pretend that you got the first part done, but you weren't able to yet make the time consistent. Then I'm going to go to this option that says move. It means I didn't do it, but I still need to do it. So I try to coach people. The only answer you can't put here is I'm just going to try harder again tomorrow, because that shows I'm not going to do anything different. There's a reason it didn't happen today, right? So Brad, what's the reason that you might not have been able to make the time consistent when you chose the times in the first place?
Because I already had something booked there and I didn't move it.
Great. This means I still need to do this. So if I couldn't do this week, maybe I'm going to try again at the end of this week, because I tried to do this on Monday. On Monday, my schedule is pretty well locked in. But if I look this week to next week, I might be in a better spot.
Yes.
Right. So I'm going to take this move and I'm actually going to move it out to Thursday. I'm going to click submit. So now it's going to show me not done, but still needs to get done. It's moved. There's a realign step about what I need to do about it. And magic, there it is waiting for me on Thursday. And it already tells me that I started this, but didn't finish it yet. Now I'm starting to see the pattern and how I can make myself better in continuous improvement. Let's say Tuesday comes and I booking calendar to prevent double booking. Well, this definitely probably didn't happen at this point because of the other issue we talked about. But maybe it's not going to happen this week. I'm going to have to try again. Let me introduce you to the power of quit. Here's your 4 statuses. Complete, done, move, didn't start, but still need to do it. Partial, I got part of it done, and the rest of it I either am or I'm not going to do. That's a second question. But here's the power of quit. The power of quit is I didn't do it, I'm not going to do it, and that's a conscious and intentional decision. This is no longer a priority for whatever reason. Let's actually create something that would maybe not be a priority. Read that long list of articles I've been saving. Right? Okay, cool. It's a pretty good chance it's not going to get done because it's not a priority.
Yeah.
So let's go quit. Failure. Not a priority. Did not make time to get done.
Didn't fit into the 20% for the day. It was part of the 80%.
Great. And guess what? I'm actually going to add a success.
Mm-hmm.
And now that quit is a really good thing. Crosses off, says I didn't do it. I've got a realign and a success and a failure, all from the same item, which is sometimes really accurate. Sometimes not doing the thing is the win.
Yes.
There's an unofficial 5th status that you can't choose yourself. It chooses you, is what I like to say. And it's called the status of forgotten. Here's what forgotten looks like. I didn't do it, or at least I didn't account for what did or didn't happen with it. So this was an item from Sunday, last Sunday, which I didn't get done on this Sunday. And I like to, I'm actually not good about going back and checking my Sundays for any plans that were there. So I always know that this one's going to be undone on Sunday and I can pull this one up. It's a priority, but I did do it. I just didn't account for it. But this forgotten status highlights it and says, hey, remember me? I can still pick a status. But what it means is that I can't leave things unaccounted for. And again, quit beats forgotten. So I can quit it, and this takes on a positive status. Quit, did on Monday, or didn't do it whatsoever. There you go, submit. And now everything's kosher again. Because if I'm going to be focused and I'm going to be prioritized type of person and leader where I know what my most important things are and I'm getting the right things done, I'm not going to have times for things that don't matter. And it's okay to quit because I know what my priorities are. Let me do one last thing. I know we're at time, but I think where this really takes on a ton of value, again, is in that realign piece. the default, so analyze successes and failures. You have to account for both every day. And realign says, I'm not just going to
for those of you who are trying to document at the end of the day before you go to bed what your wins were and what your learning was, this is doing it for you. Okay. So I do that most nights where I'll write down my wins and my losses. This takes care of it for me.
Exactly. And the difference, and I love gratitude journals. I mean, those ideas are really powerful. The extra level on this one is the alignment. We'll go back to the alignment piece. I know which successes came from which activities. I know which failures came from which activities. And if I'm wrapping up this quarter and I'm making my plan for next quarter, wouldn't it be nice to go back and just at a glance know these are all the things that worked. I should keep those in my plans for next quarter. And by default, eliminate all the things that didn't work. That sounds like optimization to me. That sounds like continuous improvement. That's the value of aligning your results, your successes and failures. And if it goes into realign, which is every failure gets a realign. It didn't work. What am I going to do about it? You can see the default action here is do something about it. That copy it forward somewhere. So not part of the 20% for today. Great. I'm going to make sure that next week I'm being more intentional about my 20%. I'll click save, and that's going to jump into my plan for next week. Now that was
so if you're leading a team or you're leading a business, right? Like if you're leading a team or a business and you have access to this, you are now able to do the reflection as part of the daily exercise, right? This is extremely important because so many times we finish a project and we don't do the reflection. But if it cranks out the reflection for us, we can look at it and at least we have something, right? Like these are the things why this tool specifically is better than 99.9% of the tools I've seen, and I've seen a bunch of tools. That being said, what I think is most important about this tool for everybody watching is it's very easy to use. But the layer on top of this is that when you're working with a coach and they have access to it too, and it's designed well and they know what to look for, now instead of just guessing based on what you're saying to them, they're actually looking at what you're doing every day to help you reprioritize and do the best things. Okay? Understand the difference. With this, there is built-in coaching that is automated because it's making you have to realign as you're doing it. Name me a tool that's doing that.
Automated coaching?
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's interesting that you called that out because that's exactly how we designed it. We talked about what do we as coaches look for? What behaviors are we trying to reinforce? What are the things that we know that, these are what the winners are doing. Now, how do we have the app encourage those same behaviors? Because why would I leave it up to you if I know better? Because it's my job to help you, right? So why not help? Why would I not tell you what to do to make yourself better? We designed those continuous improvement processes, those coaching mindsets in a sense, right here into the tool.
So, and Michael showed you the nuts and bolts of like what it looks like. He didn't show you the shiny objects. There's tons of shiny objects and things in this app, and I know it, right? The integration pieces that you can build in so that when your calendar shows up and all of that stuff. And I know we're at time, and Brian's letting us know. So here's what I would like to say. I think that if you're interested in this tool, do me a favor, email us at info@sketchyideashow.com, and we will do another run of this. And then what we will do is we can actively begin to figure out for you. This is why we brought people on. All those people that we're bringing on, we're working with actively, and we're making sure that all of these pieces and the people that are using this app have guided coaching from Michael or his partner Darren or the system as well, right? So all of these things come into play, and they're extremely helpful, especially if you're trying to figure out how to manage the chaos. Especially if you're trying to figure out how to manage the chaos of running a business.
It's true. Yep. I think
everybody goes through it.
It's exactly right. And I think a great way to frame it up. Yeah, we want to help. If the app can help you on its own, like that's fantastic. We're going to get you started up either way if it's something that you're interested in. It has helped others. We know it will help you. Reach out to us, and we'd love to share more. So, yeah, there we go.
Anything else, Michael, that you want to leave everybody with?
No, I hope that was enough of a tease, so to speak, to to ask you to reach out for more, right? But really, I wanted you to see there is a intentional, you can be more intentional in how you optimize and plan and prioritize your day, your week, your quarter. That planning and preparation effort leads to better outcomes. And when it doesn't lead to better outcomes, not just allowing things to be the way that they are, but putting time and attention into figuring out why is how you get better. And when things are working and you know they're working and you can do them more often, you get more success. When things are not working and you can figure out why not and try something new, you get more success. That is what I want for everybody, is greater success by taking the time, the necessary time and the valuable time to analyze what's working, what's not, and make the adjustments and plan ahead again tomorrow. And this is a tool that I know helps us do that. So,
yep.
There you go.
So with that, hey
Mindsets
friends, if
applied,
you enjoyed this episode, if this was helpful, share it with your friends. If you're listening to this on a podcast, what I'd recommend you do is that you go check out the show notes and you watch the video a little bit, and you'll get a better idea as to what Michael was working through. We really wanted to show you a demo of this awesome tool that Michael and his team have built over at SPEARity, because it has helped a bunch of people. But just remember that these are tools, and part of the process that goes along with it is working through that process initially before you use the tool. The tool makes it go faster and more efficient, just like any tool. So keep that in mind. But with that, if you enjoyed it, share this with your friends, like us, tag us, give us comments, send us an email, info@sketchyideashow.com, and one of us will get back to you. And we'll be back next week with an awesome episode here at Sketchy Ideas. And just remember, just because it's a sketchy idea doesn't mean it's not worth exploring. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.